live visitors. Today we are celebrating the 8th of March, International Women's Day. This is a global day celebrating the cultural, economical, scientific and political achievements of women. The main topic of our discussion is the power of women in 21st century. Very interesting, provocative and hot topic not only for today. We will discuss with 5 women ambassadors from 5 continents, 5 topics, and we will present you 5 points of view, similar or different. Let's see. Our host today is Her Excellency Zakia El Midaoui, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Morocco to the Republic of Bulgaria and Dean of the African, Arabic and French-speaking ambassadors. Let me to present you our guest ambassadors. Her Excellency Mariam Fontenele Reis, Ambassador of Brazil. Her Excellency Mariam Aftab, Ambassador of Pakistan. Her Excellency Nataša BERGELJ, the Ambassador of Slovenia, and Her Excellency Lina Omar, Ambassador of Iraq. Her Excellency Zakia El Midaoui, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Morocco to the Republic of Bulgaria and Dean of the African, Arabic and French-speaking ambassadors. Her Excellency, who is an economist, has a bachelor's degree in economics and accounting, a bachelor's degree in financial and commercial sciences, and a specialty in marketing and distribution. She has been working in the diplomatic field since 1982. Before being posted as ambassador in Bulgaria, she was director of multilateral cooperation, international economic affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, African Cooperation and Moroccan Living Abroad of the Kingdom of Morocco. Before she worked as head of the Economic and Commercial Organization and Conferences Division at the Department of Multilateral Cooperation and International Economics Affairs and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and also as head of the Department of Bodies and Conferences related to multilateral trading and financial systems. She was also posted as Chargée d'Affaires and Deputy Head of the Permanent Mission of Morocco in Geneva. Ambassador Maria Edileuza Fontenele Reis is an experienced career diplomat. She assumed her post as Ambassador of the Federative Republic of Brazil to the Republic of Bulgaria after serving as the permanent delegate to Brazil to UNESCO. She has also held high-level positions in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Brazil, among which Undersecretary for Asian Affairs and Multi-Regional Mechanisms, Brazilian Sherpa to BRICS, Brazilian High-Level Officer for the Forum for East Asia-Latin America Cooperation, Regional Coordinator for the South America-Africa Forum and the South America-Arabs Country Forum, and Director General of the Department of European Affairs. Her Excellency holds a master's degree in International Relations and PhD in International Relations and Diplomacy. She is a published author with an extensive bibliography and speaks 6 languages. Ambassador Mariam Edileuza Fontenele Reis has been recognized for her diplomatic achievements and excellence in the foreign service with Brazilian and Foreign Merit Awards. Her Excellency Mariam Aftab joined the Foreign Service of Pakistan in 1994. Before coming to Sofia, she served as Deputy Head of Mission of the Embassy of Pakistan in Berlin. Her other postings include Counselor at the Pakistan Permanent Mission to the United Nations in Geneva, and at the Embassy of Pakistan in Beijing, and Second Secretary at the Permanent Mission of Pakistan to the United Nations in New York. At the Foreign Ministry in Islamabad, she worked as Director General Africa, Director General Americas, Director USA, Director Kashmir, and Deputy Director United Nations. She holds a master's degree in international relations from the University of Sussex. Her Excellency Nataša BERGELJ completed legal studies first at the Faculty of Law in Ljubljana and later at the Harvard Law University. She entered the Slovenian diplomatic service as an attaché at the Embassy of the Republic of Slovenia in Turkey. She had 2 foreign postings in Austria and Hungary. Before being posted to Austria, Her Excellency headed the Visa Working Party in Brussels during the first presidency of Slovenia to the European Council. In Hungary, she acted already as a Deputy Chief of Mission. When returning to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Ljubljana, she was entrusted with the Human Rights Department. She was appointed as ambassador for the first time in 2022. The host state where she has been serving in the highest diplomatic title since then is the Republic of Bulgaria. Her Excellency Lina Omar is Ambassador of the Republic of Iraq to Bulgaria, former Minister Plenipotentiary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Baghdad, with an experience of more than 20 years in diplomacy and government. She is on a mission to empower women to service better in their duties, as her belief, education is the soul of developing any society. Her Excellency was one of the members of the first delegation of 20 Iraqi women in Washington for the conference, Building New Iraq, Women's Role in Reconstruction. She was recognized as one of the top Iraqi women leaders for democracy, women's rights, and religious freedom in Iraq by the Independent Women's Forum in Washington. She is an active advocate to promote the important changing role of women in the new era of peace and democracy in the world. She has lectured and delivered speeches to national and international audiences about the constitutional and security issues women face in the region. She has been quoted as an authority of these topics by the Washington Post, the Washington Times, and participated in TV discussions on the future of Iraq and the Middle East. Let's start with our first topic, the power of women in diplomacy. Your Excellencies, as women ambassadors, could you share with us your profession, your professional duties, challenges, and perspectives? And let's speak a little bit more regarding the cultural diplomacy in the 21st century. The first word is to our host, Her Excellency Zakia El Midaoui. Please, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Dr. Mladinova. I would like to thank you and thank your team from Diplomatic Life for honoring us today and celebrating with us the International Women's Day, this 8 March 2023. Thank you so much again.
And let's start with our first topic, the power of women in diplomacy.
So I can talk about Moroccan diplomat. You see, I'm proud to tell and to inform you that Moroccan women in diplomacy represent a very considerable percentage. As the ambassadors, we are more than 21%. when they recruit at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Morocco. Now we are almost 45% of women at the central service and also outside. And in the future, my authorities are working to enhance this number. And in terms of recruitment also, and in terms of high-level position, we had always ambassadors women, even since the early 60s. And the first woman ambassador was the Princess Lala Aisha. Maybe at that time she was the only woman ambassador in Arab and Africa, Arab world in Africa. And now we have also women in very important countries like United States, Spain, also in other countries. So not only in like in the a long time ago, women were in small neighboring countries, but these countries were dedicated only for men. So I think that's something very good.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And let's continue with Her Excellency Mariam Aftab. Women diplomats can play a key role in promoting and facilitating a dialogue process between people belonging to different cultures, religions, and ethnicities. It's your words, Your Excellency. Could you tell us more?
Well, I really believe that women have a particular role. Women diplomats have a particular skill in this regard, and I think that they do that job very well. And certainly, I believe in Pakistan we have had a very long tradition of women diplomats, and they have done wonderful work of representing Pakistan from the very beginning, from the time of independence. And we, as our first, very soon after independence, we had Rana Liaquat Ali Khan, Begum Rana Liaquat Ali Khan, who was a diplomat, and after that, Pakistani women diplomats have served as ambassadors, as high commissioners, and they've also served as, we've also had women who have served as foreign ministers. Our current Minister of State for Foreign Affairs is a woman. So, and I think their contribution to promoting Pakistan abroad, but also to international diplomacy, has been substantive, and I'm very proud to be part of that wonderful, dynamic group of women.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And when we speak regarding the equal opportunities,
I will speak according to my own experiences, also according to what's going on in Slovenian society, actually. So basically, according to my experience, this has always been the case that on many occasions women had to do an additional extra step before they got to the same starting point as their male colleagues. I'm not taking this in a negative way. I'm just saying that basically diplomacy in Slovenia has still been seen as a male domain. So basically we have to take this into account. And I'm very glad to hear when my colleagues also here say that the importance of women diplomats, especially those on the highest diplomatic levels, is growing in number, it's growing in importance as far as the embassies are concerned, and this has also been the case in Slovenia. So currently we're having already 45% of all ambassadors are women, and I would say that this percentage is also still in the tendency of growing.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And Your Excellencies, let's talk a little bit about this topic, the cultural dialogue in 21st century. And I want to quote Her Excellency Madiha Fontenele Reis. She says that cultural exchange is a powerful instrument of diplomacy. Please, Your Excellency.
Thank you. First of all, allow me to express my gratitude to Diplomatic Life for convening this beautiful meeting of lady ambassadors here. The picture we see today with, we only have here 5 women ambassadors, but we are more than that here in Bulgaria. I think we are more than 20. But just to look at this picture now is something that a few decades ago would be unimaginable. You could never think about having a woman as ambassador of Brazil, a woman as ambassador of Morocco, a woman as, you know, from all of our countries. It's something really remarkable. So I think we are all very proud of the work we are doing here, of the careers we have. In my country, we have a long diplomatic tradition. The first woman to enter our career was Berta Lutz, was Maria Ribeiro in 1918. This is really a long time ago, but unfortunately, we didn't keep the same trend, you know, so we go sort of back and forth. She didn't construct a career. We also had a very important woman in our delegation to the writing of the United Nations Charter, and it's thanks to her that women were included as the human beings as they are mentioned throughout the declaration. Talking about diplomacy as a tool, a very important tool of communication, of interaction, as a very important tool of diplomatic relations, I would like to highlight the importance, especially today, of the promotion of the soft power of our musics, of our literature, of our cinema. We have so many different cultural expressions that are, I think, very efficient in bringing people together, as contrary to hard power, which is something that creates resentment, creates animosity among peoples. Culture is something that promotes the best of our souls, the best of our nations, the best of our peoples. And I believe that it is for this reason that cultural exchange is maybe one of the most efficient diplomatic tools we can use to promote peace and a better understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And following your thoughts, I want to quote Her Excellency Lina Omar. Cultural diplomacy is the soul of the nation. Please, Your Excellency.
Yes, true. I believe strongly that with the culture, with the color of the culture every nation have, it's what to add the flavor and to connect the people together more. So as you see, we wear our traditional clothes and we have the Moroccan food here. So this is what makes us close to each other, to understand from different aspects about how people live in their countries. So speaking about women in diplomacy, and I must say thank you so much for giving this opportunity for all of us to be together today. It's wonderful to celebrate Women's International Day together. Speaking about women in Iraq, they had always the higher education through the history. Women in Iraq are very recognized for their science talent. We have many women in math and science. We have scientists throughout the history. They've been like part of many experiments throughout the world. Now they are playing a big role in diplomacy, representing their countries. And I'm very honored to be one of these wonderful women to represent Iraq and to be the first woman ambassador in Bulgaria. This is for me an honor. So the women in Iraq, they had the difference between what they went through with the other women in the world. Iraq went through many wars through the past 40 years, more than 40 years, and they made it through. They are the women, they are the mothers, and they are the wives, and they are the daughters, and now they are out there in diplomacy also. And this is going to be more challenging for them in the years coming up because of now the competition is higher, yeah. But they are making it so far, so wonderful.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Young men and women, I, I recommend you to dream and to work hard so that your dream come true. Nothing is impossible, but the most important is that you do what you love, what you like most. Then you will success. There is no doubt. So please follow your dreams.
Our second topic is the power of women in politics. According to Women in Politics 2021 map, created by the Interparliamentary Union and United Nations Women, despite increases in the number of women at the highest level of political power, widespread gender inequalities persist. Could Your Excellency share something positive trends from your perspective? Regarding these topics, we have a lot of brilliant examples from the countries of our guests. Let's start with the Ambassador of Slovenia, Her Excellency. Your president nowadays is a woman. Could you tell us something more?
Indeed, I'm proud to say that Slovenia for the first time now has also a female president of the Republic, which I believe for a country of 30 years, our independence and statehood, it's quite a good achievement. But at the same time, I would have to say that the concept and notion of equal opportunities in Slovenia has been very strong and present throughout also Yugoslavian times. And this is something that we have inherited. And equal opportunities, this is the thing that we are still trying to take into account when
When we speak of women empowerment.
when we okay.
Yes.
The equal opportunities. When we speak about the women, the women's empowerment, when we are applying for different positions, also and foremost also in politics. Not just our president, we also have the first female president of the parliament. She has also taken her position last year. And together with our foreign minister, we have a great trio at the top of all the most important political functions.
May I present you the other brilliant example, the example from Pakistan? Your Excellency, please.
Yes, Pakistan has some achievements with regard to women in politics, which we are very proud of. Ever since independence, as part of our independence struggle, Mohtarma Fatma Jinnah, who was the sister of the father of our nation, the founding father, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, she played a very active role in the independence movement and subsequently in politics. And then, of course, we have the singular honor to have the first Muslim women Prime Minister, Mohtarma Benazir Bhutto. After that, there have been a number of women in politics. Even if you look at our current cabinet, our Minister for Climate Change, our Minister for Information, our Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, they're all women. We have a very strong women's parliamentary caucus, which is very active, and they have done a lot of progressive legislation to do with women's rights in Parliament. So it's very heartening to see, and we have more young women politicians coming up in all the political parties across the political spectrum. So it's very heartening to see that women are very active in politics. Of course, there are many challenges, and there are many things that we have to overcome. But I think that the trend is very positive, and I'm very proud of that.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And for the first time in 200 Brazilian independent history, Dilma Rousseff is the first woman president. And I have to mention that Dilma Rousseff has Bulgarian origins.
Oh.
Please, yes, please, Your Excellency.
Of course, indeed. Of course, and we are very proud of it. You know, in Brazil, 51% of the population are women. So it's only, it would be natural that we had a greater representation of women in politics, because that means representing society or defending or promoting the interest of this half of the population in our parliament. Unfortunately, however, we have a very small number of women in politics in Brazil, in domestic politics. And this awareness has brought us to change the legislation, the elections code, to make compulsory to have a certain number, at least 10% of women running from each party. And this is the way we expect to increase the participation of women in our parliament. Women are very active in all other sectors of our society. Many are doctors, teachers, engineers, diplomats, etc. Teachers, traditional profession for women. And also I have to mention today, hundreds of YouTubers. But unfortunately, we are still very few in politics. We are working on that, and we hope to increase this percentage. Today it's only, I think, less than 15% of women in our parliament. However, we, in 200 years of history, had the first woman elected president in Brazil, and this woman is Dilma Rousseff, the daughter of a Bulgarian born in Gabrovo, and first generation born in Brazil. So this shows how open our society, how flexible our society is to social mobility, political mobility in our country. So we are very, very proud. She paid a visit to Bulgaria as President of Brazil in 2011, and that was maybe the most important topic of our bilateral relations. She developed many areas of cooperation in not only in the cultural sphere, but also in the economic and commercial areas. And she was really very proud of coming to Bulgaria, of paying tribute to her Bulgarian roots. So we are also very proud of her. And now, by the way, she's going to be appointed as the president of the BRICS Bank in Shanghai. So she will be very active dealing with the promotion of financing to projects of infrastructure and sustainable development in BRICS Bank, in BRICS countries, and also in other developing countries. So we're very proud of her. Thank you.
Her Excellency Lina Omar says that there is an urgent need for women to gain more political freedom. What does it mean, Your Excellency, in the practice?
Yes, in practice, we need more women in the leadership positions, the decision-making positions. And that's important for, I think, all nations, not only Iraq. I believe personally, if we have women in leadership, we will have, this is my judgment for the nation to be successful. So, because women are in every aspect in life, they are the mothers, they are the sisters, they are the wives, and they could be the leaders too. So when we have lack of leadership, women representations, that means there's something is missing. So that's my personal opinion. So that's why after 2003, when everything changed in Iraq with the liberation, the women, they played a great role in many aspects. They could, they are engineers and they are teachers and they work in the farms and everywhere. But I think we still have challenges to reach out to the leadership positions for many other ways. So I think that's what we should work on, starting with myself. I think it's not, we should always blame the government that we don't have women in the positions. The women also should work on themselves. They should encourage themselves, work on themselves, to be educated more, and to have their value, and to know that women's rights is human's rights. It's human's rights. It's not only that you want to be, somebody should push you and help you. You should help yourself and you should push yourself. You should challenge yourself. For me, that was throughout the years I am in the government. I had challenges, and also I was able to go through these challenges with help of myself first, and then everybody else around me, including my family.
Let's discuss the role of women in politics in Morocco. Please, Your Excellency.
I must say that the Moroccan society, even though if our society is traditional and conservative, thanks to the political will of our sovereign, His Majesty King Mohammed VI, who is a very progressive king and leader, and he always has put since his enthronement, he put the priority of gender issue, empowerment of women, leadership of women in the center of his priorities, and he helps a lot of and encourages successive governments to have the guts, the courage to include more women in the government. In the last government, we had some ladies who are at the top management, for instance, the Minister of Finance and Economy, Minister of Tourism, Minister of Housing, of Handicraft and Social Affairs, and also during the last legislative and municipalities election, Morocco made what we call a quality leap, because now we have, for the first time, 3 ladies who are mayors in the most important cities. Casablanca, which is the economic capital, Rabat, which is administrative and also the capital of the Kingdom of Morocco, and also Marrakesh, which is known as the touristic capital. So the first time we have ladies at this as mayors, and also what is best in Morocco, that the government, the successive ones, especially since 2002, they adopted a policy which is called the principle of positive discrimination. And so they help, even if women are not elected in a very big numbers, they give them the possibility to have at least 30 women in the parliament. So besides those who are elected directly, and also we have in Morocco all the ministerial department. They are practicing what we call budgetary responsive to gender issue. It means, for instance, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Morocco, every year when we prepare the budget, there is a special report annexed to the budget, and it's must be this budget and this report has to take in care the needs of women in diplomacy. For instance, if in this reporting they found that We don't have enough women, for instance, as a general counsel, or we don't recruit enough women. The parliament, when he got this report, he, as a control body, he asked the government to enhance the numbers of the recruiting women in diplomacy. For instance, last time the king, His Majesty King Mohammed VI, established a special commission for a new development model. And now the result is this high-level expert asked the government to enhance the women part in the labor market, in industry, in trade, in all domains. So I can say that we are proud with this dynamic, progressive dynamic. And now what I noticed that even the Moroccan mentalities had changed. This is the best thing. So I'm expecting that we will have more good result in the future.
Thank you, Your Excellencies. I think that this was a very brilliant example.
To conclude with a message to women and girls, I would just say, please do not let yourself be limited. Go for the things that you love. Go with the whole of your passion. If you want to lead, lead. If you want to stay at home with kids, please do that as well. If you want to study, pursue your career in academics. So, dream big and achieve all your goals. Thank you.
Our next topic is women in business, advantages, challenges and opportunities. Your Excellencies, can you summarize this topic regarding the perspectives of your countries? According to Her Excellency Lina Omar, the top Iraqi women leader for diplomacy, women's rights, and religious freedom in Iraq, she was elected by the Independent Women's Forum in Washington, D.C. in 2003. Let's begin this discussion with Your Excellency.
Yes, yes, that's very true. And we were, when we started, that was the first women conference after 2003. We were about 20 women traveled to Washington, D.C. with a program of leadership. And all of these women came back after this program, become leaders in their areas. I took the foreign ministry, and I had a strong belief that, and I still have the same belief that if you want to help your country and you want to change the legislations to something that help the new generations and the young, and especially for women and girls, you should be in the government. It's one of the areas. So after 20 years of this experience, I really believe that we can do so much when you are within the government. Yes, I know there's challenges. They may not give you the chance, not every time, but I thank so much my government to trust in me, and my foreign minister, wonderful person, that he believed in and supported women from day one. He started his position, Minister Fouad Hussein. So after his leadership, many women in the foreign ministry, they took high positions, and they have responsibilities to do what they can help for the women and the new generations and the girls. So I believe, that was the leadership part that, it was missing. And In Iraq, I must say, we had the first woman judge was woman in Iraq. The first judge in Iraq was woman. The first woman driving in Middle East was from Iraq. And we still, after 2003, again, we had many women representations in the ministries position, and they succeeded and they did very well. In Parliament, we have 25% representation of women. We still have working on the quality and the qualifications of the people who's appointed, but still, it's a good start, and we have a long way to go.
And speaking about the power of women in business, for the first time in Brazil, history of Brazil, the presidents of the most important public banks are women. Please, Your Excellency, tell us more regarding this topic.
Thank you very much for raising this point. We have a new government has just been inaugurated in Brazil. President Lula was elected for a new mandate now, his third mandate. He has always given a very special attention to the promotion of women. And he was the one that indicated Dilma Rousseff to run as president, for the post of president, replacing him at the end of his mandate. So he made of it a point to have as many women as possible, because there also have to be coalitions and compositions and taking into consideration different political interests. But he, for the first time, appointed the president of Banco do Brasil, a woman, and also for our saving bank, which is Caixa Econômica. Also, he appointed Dilma Rousseff as the Brazilian president of the BRICS Bank. So I think those are very good examples that we hope will be inspiring for private companies. Many Brazilian women are very active in the business area, business sector, in trade and investment, etc., but very few have the high posts in big companies, like CEOs of big companies. But I think that good examples like the ones I have just mentioned will be very inspiring for the future. We hope so.
According to Her Excellency Zakia El Midaoui, discussing the engagement of the women in business, we have to know that the World Bank, which supports all initiatives promoting the economic inclusion of women and their increased participation in corporate governance bodies, supported this exemplary effort by including this measure among the key reforms of its budget support program of $450 million for the benefit of the Moroccan government in 2021.
So, as you told Dr. Mladinova, since women represent half of the Moroccan society, it's normal that Morocco is leading in some areas, especially in the private sector, for instance. Years ago, we used to have a lady who was at the top management of private sector organization. And we have many ladies who are leading important banks. We have many women's PhD doctors and they are teaching in universities. We have many women, they are also deans of universities like the University of Medicine and Dentistry in Casablanca. You see, she is a woman. And also, we have, as you said, this topic for which the World Bank helped Morocco with $450 million of dollars, because Morocco is among the few countries, even developed one, who decided to give the quota at least of 30% of women at the top management of the companies and the and enterprises, and this is for for the next years this percentage will increase into 40%, so that to have women representing, you see, these bodies. And also I can say that in terms of access to market, of course the number of men are higher than women, and we are working on this, because I think within the this United Nations agenda of sustainable development, Morocco is very committed to reach all the goals, the 17 goals, and among them there is two that has to do with ladies in its part in the economy and in growth and so on, and in the labor market. And I want to tell you also that Morocco has ratified and signed all the international convention relating to gender issue, including those of International Labour Organization. For instance, yes, for the leave of women when she is pregnant, she is delivering a baby, and for the work of women during night time, and all this helped us to have a very good result. And I hope that the successive government are working hard to achieve this gender equality, which is a right of all the Moroccan population, because, as said my colleague from Iraq, we are mothers, sisters, we are nieces, we are daughters, so even men are helping. So this is the nice news, the good news.
Your Excellency, could you summarize this topic regarding the perspective from Pakistan?
Well, traditionally in Pakistan, women have been in terms of business, in terms of economic activity, been limited more or less to the informal sector. But now, as things are changing, and we see more women emerging as entrepreneurs, as businesswomen, and this we have also seen that there has been a very active movement in civil society to provide women with the means to do this, and particularly in the area of microfinance. So, you know, women setting up small businesses and being able to participate in economic activity through that. And I think that is a very, very important area. So I see these things are happening. It is a slow process because we are still a traditional society. So it takes a little while for women to come outside of their homes and work in the economic sphere. But these things are happening. Change is taking place. And I think there has been quite a bit of progress in this direction to see more and more women emerging in the business field, in the chambers of commerce, and with small and medium enterprises, and with you know, home businesses. So all of that is happening, and it's very exciting to watch it happen.
Your Excellency, the choice is very difficult, according to you.
It is.
Could you tell us more?
Yes, it is. It is my personal belief that no woman should be forced to choose between the family and her career. So basically, it is up to the government, up to the responsible stakeholders to create the circumstances within which a woman will be free to choose either to go for family, for career, or for both. So I would say that in most cases, women still give preference to their families, because otherwise they would not be able to be good mothers and would have strong feelings of being guilty. And here we have to find and strike a very good balance, and our male colleagues, men, bear a good share of the responsibility here as well. But I have to say that in Slovenia, I would say that this awareness among society with men and women is having a very good and positive trend. The government is very well aware of the need of taking up the measures which will allow women to have children, but at the same time not to forget about their professional aspirations, professional goals. So in this respect, I would say that it is always about giving a fair chance to women and men. So this is what I'm not really sure whether the quota for women work, because you cannot force anyone to apply for a certain position if she is not having good feelings about taking this position because of other responsibilities that are waiting for her, for example, at home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
So, to conclude our wonderful talk today, my message to the young generation is, especially for women, to trust yourself and to believe in yourself. And if you want something really, really good, go for it. There's nothing impossible. Just put your head and your energy and you will make it.
Our next topic is the power of women in science. According to UNESCO Institute for Statistic Data, less than 30% of the world's researchers are women. UNESCO chief Audrey Azoulay observed that even today, in the 21st century, women and girls are being slighted in science. Related fields due to their gender. How can we indeed reduce the gender gap in science? Let's start with Her Excellency Mariam Fontenele Reis, who had the privilege of being ambassador to UNESCO before being posted to Bulgaria.
Thank you very much. I think that the participation of women in sciences reflects to some extent the participation of women in all other areas of activities. They need more visibility. Like my colleague said, there are so many women working informally in the economic activity, but when it comes to more responsibilities, it's a gradual process, I would say. We have in my country, for example, many women who are important biologists, researchers, scientists, but that don't have that much projection. And I think the more projection they have, the more they will become role models for younger generations. And in this regard, I really was privileged to, while working as ambassador to UNESCO, in promoting this international awareness of the need to promote more women in order to make more role models and to inspire younger generations. So the promotion of this, or the organization of this L'Oréal Women in Science Prize, which is given, it was instituted in 1998, and since then, every year, about 40 women from all over the world, from every single country, developed country, developing country, least developed countries, we try to reach out to those women that are excelling in the scientific field. So I believe this is a very good initiative to promote internationally the researchers, to bring them together, to form network of researchers of women, and I believe that this is one of the noblest tasks of UNESCO. Thank you.
Let's continue with the inclusion of women in STEM, science, technology, engineering and mathematics in Pakistan.
Yes, well, like I think most of the world, the STEM field in Pakistan has been dominated by men over a period of time. But I think women are slowly beginning to make their way and are beginning to be noticed. We have some recent examples. For example, we have the physicist Nargis Ma Walwala, who is currently the Dean of Science at MIT. She is Pakistani. And then we have other examples, Asifa Akhtar, who is a biologist and is the first woman vice president at the Max Planck Institute in Germany. So there are examples, and I think these are very inspiring examples for young women who want to pursue careers in STEM. But I think we still have a way to go, and I think there has to be more of an effort from the government, from our educational institutions, to encourage women, particularly young women, that this is a field which they can excel in. And I think once they have that confidence, we will see more and more young women sort of entering this field, and we will see more, women sort of making a contribution. And I think that would be very, very welcome.
Indeed, Your Excellency, thank you. And let's continue with the STEM topic regarding the perspective of Slovenia.
Exactly. Well, I cannot really add much more to what has already been said, because we pretty much face the same challenges in this regard. It has been a male domain. Science still dominantly occupied by men. Researchers, scientists, also the students, if you look at them, the part of male students is still much greater than the one of women. But nevertheless, also these trends in Slovenia are slowly getting turned around. Science can be fun, and women can excel in science. So this is a fact. So basically, again, raising an awareness, especially among young girls, young women, in order not to look away when they come to a decision whether to go for mathematics, physics. And one of the projects which I personally really believe had made a great difference in Slovenia is called a Female Scientist of the Year, which has enjoyed a patronage of our President of the Republic. And he's a man, and he's really promoting this issue. He has been promoting this issue during his 2 mandates, and has been supporting women pretty much in this regard. And I think that has made a significant impact on the female population in Slovenia.
Amazing example, Your Excellency. Thank you.
Thank you.
Regarding the perspective from Iraq, Her Excellency Lina Omar says that empowerment is not just technical measures, but also a process of changing the culture of discrimination. Your Excellency, let's continue with this.
This is my favorite topic, to be honest. I think despite what Iraq went through, and the women in Iraq, I think, which is clear to many statistics, that women in Iraq, they are #1 in science in the region. And I don't know why, but we have the genes, I believe. They are always, starting with myself, I'm a scientist also. My background is science, and I taught for many years physics and chemistry. And I think I got from my father, he's a civil engineer. And same with my cousins. I have half of my cousins are engineers, and they're math teachers. We have scientists also. I must say that one of the top architect women in the world is called Zuha Hadid. She's Iraqi, and she has the most beautiful designs around the world, and she's very famous. She passed away, unfortunately, and we have many examples like that. I think that's one of the things that nothing affected on the women in Iraq, to become scientists and to continue this path. So I'm proud of that. And so this is something I'm like really happy to talk about.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Actually, I'm the scientist also, and never knew that Iraq is taking leadership in the women in science. It's great.
And we have a beautiful theater which has been designed by
Zuha Hadid.
really very beautiful, very modern.
Yeah, same in many countries.
They choose her because she was the best among others.
This is a very
She's
brilliant
like the
example
icon.
of
Yeah.
globalized culture and globalized dialogue. May I quote Her Excellency Zakia El Midaoui? Scientific research is one of the most important vectors of the development process of the knowledge society and driving force for development. Am I right, Your Excellency?
Yes,
It's your
you
words.
are right, but I think that I will associate myself with my with everything that has been said by my colleagues, their excellencies ambassadors. I think that the impact of research and education, because research and science has a link with education first. We have a proverb in Africa. It says, when you educate a boy, you educate a man. When you educate a girl, you educate the whole village or the whole community. So this is the importance of the education for all the population, especially the women in countries like Arab countries, Muslim countries. And I think that the impact of research science is very important in terms of growth, on part of the economy of a country, especially for a country like Morocco, which is a middle income country. So, of course, said my colleague from Pakistan, the research is still the area of men. But more and more we have women who are interested. Unfortunately, women sometimes they are blocked because they have to take care of their families, as said Nataša, ambassador of Slovenia, and they have sometimes to choose between their career, and because you have to travel around the world, to have to dedicate yourself day and night every time for this to be very good and successful researchers. So now in Morocco we have more kindergartens. They try to organize the society in a manner to help women. We have more institutions that can help the children at school. If they don't understand the mathematics, they help them. So the woman and mother doesn't have to be always with them. So we try to find some solutions. And I think that Morocco is a school in this matter. And especially we have a very strong society, civil society, especially women NGOs who are fighting for this, trying to find a solution for women at this top level of management. And especially, you know, when you have a child very ill in the night, who wakes up to see what happened to him? It's the mother, not the father, you see. So this is what I can say about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
I would like every single girl, every single woman to have in mind that her place is where she wants to be. So women have to trust themselves, apply themselves with dedication and hard working to accomplishing all her dreams. And yes, you can make it. Whatever you want to do, you will be excellent. So.
our last topic is the power of women in sport. Regarding the International Olympic Committee, fostering gender equality and strengthening women's empowerment in and through sport is also at the core of the mission of IOC. Could you share with us some good examples regarding the involvement of the women in the sports movement? For a nation of 2 million, the number of world-class athletes ranks Slovenia to the second place worldwide. Let's start with the ambassador of Slovenia. What is the situation regarding the women?
Yes, indeed. We are really a crazy sport nation, and primarily I would say because we have so many natural circumstances that enabled us to pursue different sport activities professionally and non-professionally. So in Slovenia, there have always been many top world-class female athletes. I can name so many so that I don't want to make any injustice to any of them. But in this field, I would have to say, because it is so close to the nation, the circumstances and the circumstances of training, of pursuing career, again, starting from the youth, from the very young age, has been pretty much very well balanced. We are again coming to the situation of a woman when there is a need of a family or a wish for a family, that again we have a trend where many of our female colleagues stop pursuing their career, or they choose not to have a family or to have it later on. But of course, having a family somehow also contradicts with a top sports or athlete career. So basically, in this regard, I would have to say that women athletes in Slovenia have always been able to give the best for us, for our nation, and then I would say at a later stage they have decided to devote themselves to the family as well.
Which are your favorite sports in Slovenia?
Of course, I will start with skiing. This is the one which is the most favorite one. I think that everyone still knows how to ski, even though the natural circumstances are getting less and less favorable in this regard. Skiing, climbing, mountaineering, these outdoor activities, I would say, are really close to our nation, and to me as well, personally.
Yes, thank you, Your
Thank you.
Excellency. And talking about climbing, Pakistan is the other brilliant example of the women inclusiveness in the sports movement. Please, Your Excellency.
Yes, again, sports have been a field that have been traditionally dominated by men. But more and more Pakistani women are getting into sports, and of course the conventional sports, cricket, hockey, tennis, sort of football. But as you mentioned, more unconventional sports also, like mountaineering. And just recently we have a young woman who is a mountaineer, Samina Beg, and she climbed the K2. So she, I think, is a wonderful example of young women trying new and maybe unconventional sports in Pakistan, and I think that that is indeed very inspirational for other women who want to follow in her footsteps. So I hope to see more of Samina and more people like her, and see Pakistani women shine in all kinds of sports, traditional sports, and maybe also the sort of more non-traditional sports.
And I think also that this young lady climbing Everest.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you, Your Excellency. For first time in Brazilian history, the Minister of Sport is a woman. Please, Your Excellency.
Yes. First time, and we are very proud of that. And allow me to talk about first time to pay tribute to our first Minister of Sports in Brazil, who was Pelé, appointed in 1995. He recently passed away, so I would very much like to pay tribute to this athlete of world known through all over the world. Maybe the best ambassador of Brazil we ever had.
Maria, also Ayrton Senna in car racing.
Yes,
He was
car racing,
very
Ayrton
famous,
Senna,
and he
yes,
died,
unfortunate, so young,
yes, very young,
unfortunately.
I remember.
But we are very pleased to see that gradually a greater number of women are participating in all kinds of sports in Brazil. And today, repeating again what President Lula's policy has been to appoint as many women as possible to ministerial positions, he decided to appoint Ana Moser as the first woman Minister of Sports in Brazil. She is a remarkable volleyball player. She is an Olympic champion, and she has been very active in stimulating not only a growing number of women in traditional sports, but also in new sports like skateboarding. The world champion today is a girl. I can say it's a woman because she's only 14 and she's already a world champion. But we have had in the past 2 decades a growing number of women, not only in volleyball, in football. Brazil has a very strong female football team, but also in judo, in jiu-jitsu, karate, sailing, all kinds of sports that our national circumstances allow us to do. Unfortunately, no outstanding snow skiers because we don't have this tradition, but we compensate in many other fields of sports.
Discussing the power of women in sport, I have to mention also that Morocco have also a woman minister of sport, and this woman is the first Moroccan and the first woman for Muslim male countries who win an Olympic gold medal. Am I right, Your Excellency?
Yes, you're right, Dr. Mladinova. In fact, her name is Nawal Mutawakkil. You see, she is the first lady who had a golden medal in the Olympic, athletics in the 80s. And at that time, you see, women didn't reach this top level in sport, especially not only in Morocco but in African and also in Arab and Muslim countries. So at that time, when she got this golden medal, our late King Hassan II, the father of our actual King, His Majesty Mohammed VI, ask the families friendly, those who had baby girls just born, please call them Nawal, because it was something special. And from that time, because she opened like a big doors for other women in Morocco, in Arab, African and Muslim world. And from that time, more women got involved in this high-level athletic competition. And for instance, last year we had our national women football team who reached the second place at African level. And yes, now it was the final competition was against South Africa, so South Africa won, but they did very good match for the process in all the matches, and they gained all the heart of Moroccan, of Arab, Muslim, African countries, and now they will compete in this year in Austria and in New Zealand. Yes, they are chosen to represent Arab world and Africa. Yes, our women team of football, and also we have many ladies. We have one who reached the Mount Everest, also mountain climber. She is very known, and many others. And we have also Samira Bennani, who used to do car racing with men. She is the only woman in Arab and Africa to do such kind of sport. Normally, it's used to be only domain of men, and also we have many athletics in many other disciplines. So I can say that sport in Morocco, sport is taught in school. It's obligatory discipline. The kids have to be present to these sport courses, and also we had very good swimmers at the top level. We had in many areas. And the women sport is in good health and in good shape, I think. Thank you.
According to Her Excellency Lina Omar, the Iraqi government is now seeking to raise the level of women's sport through scientific planning. It's regarding your topic, Your Excellency, yes.
Yeah, beside all the other areas that developing in Iraq is the sport, and the government is helping in many ways to support in this area, from school to universities to even the Minister of Sports, that also he was himself one of the champion. Yes, so we are very lucky to have him. And so the main sport in Iraq is the football. And everybody, you see, even in the streets, the kids playing.
Arab world.
Yeah, the Arab world. So I must say, this area is moving slow, but there are a lot of input to this area, and so there's a huge interest from people for that, and especially women. We have new sports that we didn't have before, like horseback riding, swimming, like many other things, that basketball. These are that it was not there the past 20 years. And I see that with my last trip to Iraq was just 2 weeks ago. I was interested to see, like, on my way from airport to my city, I see the horseback like training areas. It's like, wow, that was like for me huge. Especially my city, in the Kurdish area in the north, we are like Sofia, surrounded by mountains. We have the hiking, yes, but the horseback riding was like something new for me to see. Yes, we see it in the south. So I think it's moving, it's slow, but I expect something good in the future. Yes.
Yeah, promising.
Promising, yeah.
Thank you, Your Excellencies.
Thank you to you, Dr. Madiha.
Thank you very much.
Message to young women is believe in yourselves, because if you can dream it, you can do it. Thank you.